And then you can just push that got it and it'll go away. So this is right now. If you hear, I would be forward. But that's a happy one. That's halfway kid over there because I just don't call it and started. How do you think that sounds? So, yeah, because this is exactly one. Because you have a little bit of yeah, I would say. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and record. Okay, it's noon. Any minute we'll be hearing the tornado siren, but don't be alarmed. That's the regular one. It's a little weird today. This is our second week at LifeQuest, and this is our guest speaker hour. Today we have special guest Eliza Borne. Hi, Eliza. I'm glad you're with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about Eliza while we get situated. We've got folks in the room at Second Presbyterian Church. We have folks on Zoom, and we have members, as I'm watching, joining us on our public LifeQuest of Arkansas Facebook page. So in all three formats, we're ready to hear our speaker today. So Eliza is joining us from the Central Arkansas Library System. She's the Director of Development, and she's been there since March of 21. But many of you may know her because she served on the staff of the Oxford American. She joined the Oxford American magazine in 2013 and was named the magazine's, I didn't know this, Eliza, I'm so proud of you, third editor-in-chief in October of 2015. She was that magazine was named a finalist for the National Magazine Award 3 times and finally won in 2016. Congratulations for that. In 2019, that magazine, Oxford American, won an Arkansas Governor's Arts Award. Eliza is a board member for the C.D. Wright Women's Writers Conference at the University of Central Arkansas. She's a board member of the Arkansas Nonprofit News Network and a member of the Six Bridges Book Festival Talent Committee. That would be an interesting job. She's a former commissioner on the City of Little Rock's Arts and Cultural Commission. And so she's joining us from CALS, which we love the Central Arkansas Library System. We often have classes or presentations from individuals from the library because there's such a talented pool of people. So thank you so much for joining us today, Eliza. Tell us what you are going to show us at noon today.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here, and I hope everyone is dry and that the weather cooperates and is on our favor and we don't have to go evacuate to a basement in the middle of this. So I guess that many of you are very familiar with our library system, but I hope that I can share some new information with you today, especially about some of our community resources, programs, and ways that you can engage with the library that you might not have been aware of before. So I'll share some more information about me to start. I was born and raised in Little Rock and have been a lifelong passionate reader. I have also been a lifelong patron of CALS. In fact, the Fletcher Library is named for my great uncle, John Gould Fletcher, and the Terry branch is named for my great grandmother, Adolphine Fletcher Terry. And this is a picture of me at the grand opening of the Terry Library many years ago. I joined the Central Arkansas Library System about a year ago after working as an editor at the Oxford American for 8 years, as Leah said. And I loved the Oxford American and loved working with writers and editing a magazine, but decided to come to CALS after some reflection during the pandemic. I think that's something that we've all been doing. And I decided that I wanted to do something more public service oriented and focused on the community. And I realized that there's no institution I value more than the public library. So I was thrilled that I got the opportunity to come to CALS and serve as Director of Development. So throughout this talk, I'd love to get a sense of who you are and how you engage with CALS. So feel free to interrupt me or post in the chat. If you go to a neighborhood branch, which one, what you like to do at the library, what programs you enjoy going to. Feel free to share any of that. I'm always really happy to hear people's library stories. So, some information about the library system at a glance. We have 15 branches in 2 counties, Pulaski and Perry. CALS is the largest public library system in the state of Arkansas. So we serve about 11% of the population of the state. And this year, our annual budget is about $24 million. Most of our revenue, about 91% of it, comes from property taxes. Because of our reach, CALS is able to make a significant impact on our state. The library's mission statement is to provide resources and services to help residents reach their full potential and to inspire discovery, learning, and cultural expression. We fulfill this mission by offering exceptional service, as I hope you've experienced at the library, world-class programs, and plentiful resources. I am really proud as someone who works for the library, but also a patron and a resident of Little Rock, that we have a world-class library system that is nationally recognized at the highest levels. The Central Arkansas Library System's most fundamental value is to provide access to all and to continually work harder to reach people who have been historically underserved by libraries. In 2019, CALS adopted a new strategic plan that came about after a lot of community input. They gave us a roadmap for doing that, with a top goal of more directly serving constituents, especially those from under-resourced and underserved communities. Since then, CALS has been recognized nationally for our efforts to serve the community. In December of last year, CALS won the Jerry Klein Community Impact Prize, which is an award presented by Library Journal, which recognizes one public library annually as a vital community asset. The award came with an unrestricted grant of $250,000. And just last week, I'm thrilled to share that CALS was named a finalist for the National Medal for Museum and Library Service, which is presented by the Institute for Museum and Library Services. This is the nation's highest federal honor for libraries that make significant and exceptional contributions to their communities. And we'll find out in June if we are a winner. We're one of 15 library finalists across the country. So I like to say that CALS is 3 libraries in one. We have about 1.3 million materials in our physical collection. So physical items that you can, like books, it's what you would probably think of, or DVDs, things of that nature. We have about 1 million books in our collection. We also have about 380,000 ebooks, 288,000 audiobooks in our digital collection. And you may not know that we also have a library of things, as we call it, which includes items like puzzles, tools, telescopes, hotspots, fishing poles, bird watching kits, toys, and other items that you can check out from the library. I always really like to spotlight our tool library, which is housed at our D. Brown branch in Southwest Little Rock. If you are the kind of person who uses a power washer, say once a year, you can go check that out from the library instead of buying one. Providing access to information and tools to help people reach their full potential is at the heart of what our library does. But we're also really focused on enhancing our community-based services and evaluating our collections to attract new patrons. We want everyone to feel warmly welcomed at their public library. A few ways we do that are by providing robust digital materials and access to the internet, whether at our public computers or through hotspots that you can check out and use at home. We offer many community resources, including help for patrons applying for SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. CALS was also one of the first urban libraries in the country to hire an on-site licensed social worker who works from our main branch. We offer job assistance and a variety of classes to teach digital literacy and many other resources. So I thought I would spotlight a few of our programs that you may not be familiar with. We have a whole lot of programs that eliminate barriers in our community, and ones that you probably are familiar with are Summer Reading Club, Six Bridges Book Festival, which is formerly the Arkansas Literary Festival. But these are a few others that I'm really proud of. So Count Up is a fairly new program. It is a free math tutoring program for K through 12 students. It launched in the fall of 2020 with a grant from the Walton Family Foundation, and now it's sustained this year through a federal grant. The program matches tutors with students who'd like assistance with math, tutors of all ages from high school students on up. It is housed out of our children's library, which you can see here with a great reed sculpture in front. Though during the pandemic, most of the students and tutors have been meeting and working together on Zoom. It has been very successful in its pilot year, reaching more than 120 students, working with more than 50 volunteer tutors to provide about 2,000 hours of instruction. And it has just received rave reviews from parents on how their children's relationship with math is improving, grades are improving. So we're really proud of that one. Rocket Lab is another new program. It's an entrepreneurship center located in the Cox building on our downtown campus. You may have visited the Cox building in the past when our bookstore was there. Now the bookstore is located in the Roberts Library, where our galleries also are, and the Cox building houses the Rocket Lab. It's a partnership with a local nonprofit called Advancing Black Entrepreneurship. And the lab provides mentor matching, workshops on practical topics for business owners, networking opportunities, business education classes, like you can see in this picture. And then the space itself is a wonderful amenity. It's divided into 3 floors, with one floor as a co-working space, one is a retail area, and one is a maker space with tools for artists, entrepreneurs to use and share. So the idea is that an entrepreneur might come, use the tools in the maker space, take classes to learn how to market their products, sell them in the retail area, take meetings in the co-working space, get matched with a mentor, meet other entrepreneurs. So it's pretty exciting. The goal of the lab is to inspire, educate, and connect under-resourced entrepreneurs, especially women, veterans, and people of color, and to create pathways for them to achieve economic mobility. And then the Encyclopedia of Arkansas is a free online encyclopedia based in our Bobby Roberts Library of Arkansas History and Art, which is the state's largest freestanding facility dedicated to the study of Arkansas. The EOA is the only state encyclopedia in the country to be produced by a library system. We call it the premier source of information on the state of Arkansas, and it is trusted by educators from elementary schools to universities. Just about every week, I notice that the EOA is cited in articles published by the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Journalists from around the world come to the EOA to research Arkansas. It attracts users from about 150 countries each month, and its traffic has skyrocketed during the pandemic as students and educators have turned to it as a reliable reference work easily available during virtual schooling. In addition to thousands of entries, there are media, lesson plans, lots of resources at the EOA. And then Be Mighty Little Rock is one of the library's most visible programs. In 2018, CALS and the city of Little Rock launched this program to connect kids and teens with free USDA meals. The campaign has been a huge success in the years since. Just in the first year, we saw a 21% rise in children here participating in federal meal programs. Now, 11 of CAL's branches serve as year-round meal sites, and our branches are among the few locations where kids can find meals during school breaks and weekends. So they can show up at the library branch during meal service and get a free meal. Since the program started, Be Mighty has served more than 4.5 million meals in Pulaski County across all locations, more than 400,000 of them from our branches. As you can see here in this infographic, just last year from our library branches, we served 44,603 meals. So that's an overview of some of the good things happening at CALS, and I'd love to share some ways for you to become engaged with your library if you are interested in that. First, volunteers are welcome, appreciated, wonderful supporters of the library's events, programs, and services. And I would guess that there are people in the audience who are already CALS volunteers, so thank you for your service doing that. When I end the PowerPoint, I'm going to share some links with you all in the chat, including our volunteer application. But right now, I'll just share that our most significant volunteer needs include sitting at the Roberts Library front desk and welcoming patrons there, and at our galleries and bookstore at Library Square, sorting books for our Friends of CAL's used book sale in the basement of the main library. We have a core group of volunteers who come almost every day to receive and sort books for the book sale. Working the box office and the concessions at events at our Ron Robinson Theater. That's a fun one because you get to see the performance or the reading or whatever the entertainment is too. And then we have lots of other opportunities, serving meals for Be Mighty, tutoring math for Count Up, volunteering as a mentor for Rocket Lab, and a lot more. Of course, you can participate in programs. CALS offers thousands of programs every year, from in-person classes to virtual lectures to grab-and-go activities. At the end of my presentation, I'm going to link to our April program guide so that you can peruse what's happening this month. There is always something new at all the branches, but I will mention a couple in particular that I thought you might be interested in. We offer many creative writing programs under the umbrella of the program called the CALS Writing Circle. And one of the most popular classes in all of our creative writing offerings is called Memoir Writing for Seniors. It is an ongoing class that meets once a week and takes attendees who are ages 55 and up through these steps of writing their own life stories. So students are given tools and techniques to help them learn to write regularly and productively. Everyone is welcome. You can just drop in. No writing experience is required. And right now, this is offered as a virtual class. We also have a new program called the CALS Memory Lab, which teaches patrons to preserve their personal archives. So you can learn how to digitize your personal papers, your photos, your scrapbooks, and other items to preserve your family history and share it with future generations. And we have a team who will give you the tools and the support to do that. Of course, you can sign up for a library card if you don't already have one. Your library card is your ticket to CALS's large collection of materials, including books, ebooks, audiobooks, magazines, movies, databases, and a lot more. You can place holds on materials at any branch in the system and pick them up where you want, inside the library branch, or request curbside service. That's something that became really popular during the pandemic. And we're continuing to do. So you just drive up to your branch, call a phone number, and a library staff will bring you your materials. If the library does not have a book in our collection that you want to read, you can request that we buy it, either a physical book or an ebook. I have done this many times, and I'm always amazed when I put in my request, and a few weeks later I learned that the book I've requested is in the collection and I can check it out. Or you can obtain a copy through a neighboring state through a consortium of libraries that we belong to, which is pretty cool. And I think not as many patrons know about that opportunity, and our library staff will show you how to do that. I'm always amazed by how quickly those books arrive. So it really opens the possibilities of what materials are available to you. And then we also offer a books by mail free service for individuals who are unable to leave home, but would still like to borrow library materials. And as the director of development, I have to tell you that there are many ways to support your library with a tax-deductible gift to the CALS Foundation, which is the 501c3 support organization associated with the library. You can make honor or memorial gifts to pay tribute to someone. If you make a donation in someone's honor, a book plate with their name on it will be placed on a title in the collection. You can make unrestricted donations or give to programs or branches you're passionate about. You can sponsor events and programs like Summer Reading Club or Six Bridges Book Festival, or you can work with me to identify a special project in need of funding that aligns with your interest. I love working with donors on projects like that, figuring out how to honor someone, or someone just has a passion for something that the library does and wants to figure out how to use their resources to build its capacity. CALS is very fortunate to receive generous support from taxpayers, though many of our programs do receive significant funding through grants and individual donations. So just emphasize that all these programs that I've talked about, a lot of those staff positions are funded by grants and gifts, and your donation can really make a difference for the library and for the community. And then the fifth thing I'll highlight is that funding for the Central Arkansas Library System is on the ballot on May 24th. You may remember that CALS was recently on the ballot last November. At that time, the library was asking for an increase in the operating tax rate. This time, in May, voters will be asked to reduce the capital improvement millage in Little Rock from 1.8 to 1.3 mills. So Registered voters in Little Rock are eligible to vote in this election. The $0.50 reduction would cancel out the increase in Little Rock's operational millage rate that was approved last fall by 71% of voters. And if the reduction passes, CALS will be able to refinance bonds, which will lower property taxes, but generate money for projects like a bookmobile and improvements to some library spaces. So it's a little counterintuitive, but in this case, voting for the library means lowering your taxes, but generating more funding for CALS to use on capital improvements. Let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, I've got a little 4-minute video that I think we've got time that I thought I'd share that kind of brings our facilities and our programs to life. So
you're doing great on time, Eliza.
Okay, great. Well, let me hope that our sound works, and I'll share this and we can visit. Oh, although y'all can't hear it, can you?
No.
Well,
at the Central Arkansas Library System, CALS,
Again?
there is a story that needs to be told. A story of transformation, betterment, purpose, and advancement. This story is changing the way we see, interact with, and value our local libraries.
I think CALS is great because it offers a lot of fun, engaging programs for kids, teens, adults. No matter what your interests are, there's something for you to do at the library. I have 4 children, ages 14, 11, 9, and 6. My children, they enjoy checking out books, but the library offers more than just checking out books. There's a lot of programs that you can participate in. There's programs for babies, teens, children, adults, and we enjoy pretty much all of those things. They really are into the cooking programs, so anything that involves cooking over at the children's library, they're into that. There's an activity, there's snack, there's all different types of things that they want to get involved in. We're over at the Terry branch, we're at Fletcher. My son goes there after school, so they definitely know us and everyone is very friendly towards us.
The Count Up program consists of one-on-one tutoring with local students, teachers, volunteers of all different backgrounds who are interested or experienced in math, whether they just need a little bit of help getting through their homework or studying for a test or catching up on concepts that they are struggling with during the semester. Count Up provides another avenue for CALS to give back to the community and to continue to serve the diverse needs of the community.
The library is very important to me as a professional because it's a resource that I turn to and can trust. As a journalist, you're only as good as the information that you convey. And I am absolutely committed to accuracy. You know, you have the direct sources there. The library is a great public service to the people. The Encyclopedia of Arkansas, with over 6,000 entries, receives 4,000 visitors a day. And I think that's a testament to how many people want to learn things about our area. It's important to the economy. CALS produces $5 or more for every dollar it receives in tax money. The library is an essential shared experience for people of all backgrounds.
My name is Benito Lubazibwa. I'm the CEO and founder of Remix Ideas. For many years, libraries have democratized information and knowledge. They provide free access to the information and knowledge and to everybody, from under-resourced to the median income community to even people who are well off. So what we are doing at Rocky Lab is really the continuation of what libraries have been doing for many years. We want to democratize entrepreneurship in the Central Arkansas. We want to provide access, resources, tools, and knowledge to under-resourced entrepreneurs for free so they can be able to start, grow, and scale their businesses.
Today, the library offers a more dynamic and diverse experience, made up of the delivery of invaluable services that provide significant social, economic, and cultural value to the people of Central Arkansas. This is CALS, reinvented, responsive, the library rewritten. At the center.
All right. So in closing, I'll just pose a question to all of you to think about. What does the library mean to you? And this is a quote that I love from a book called The Library Book by Susan Orlean, a nonfiction book that was published a few years ago. And her description of the library as being part sanctuary, part town square, and part community center really resonates with me. It encompasses many of the things I love about the public library. All right, well, I hope we can now have a chance to visit some, and I want to hear your experience with the library, or if you have questions for me about our programs or opportunities, or just share your own library story.
I'll start because I just want to say my sister is completing her master's in library science, and I'm going to send this recording to her. Just, it's fun to see what other libraries are doing. But Eliza, when you and I were talking before you came on today, I mean, I have said this and I repeat it all the time. I think the two biggest resources and real strong points in our city of Little Rock are our parks and trails and our libraries. I mean, the library system is just it is a sanctuary. Everyone that I've ever been into, it's been clean and well-staffed, and it's friendly, and easy to navigate. And there's always somebody there to help you. And I've utilized the library with my kids, for myself. At LifeQuest, we have a class called LifeQuest Book Club. And I'm going to say this for any of our viewers today: the book club utilizes it and is helped by the library. So we check out the books from the library, we number them, we give them to our members as they take our class. And at the end of class, you return it back, and we take our little book bag back to the library. So folks don't have to purchase a book, which, by the way, if you do, I strongly recommend you go through Wordsworth or your local bookseller. But why not use the library? And that's what we do for our LifeQuest book club. Book clubs at LifeQuest can be started by anybody. You don't have to be an expert on the book. You don't even have to like the book. But if for instance, you're kind of interested in romance or mysteries or science fiction, or something that combines all three, and you've got a great book, why not start a book club and see what members would like to read that with you? So that's just a kind of a shout out to anybody that would like to do that. We can walk you through how to do it, and the library is a great partner for LifeQuest in that way. Eliza, I've seen you've put in the chat several things. She's put in our chat a volunteer application, the April program guide, and how to donate to the CALS Foundation. So if you're on Facebook, I really recommend you get on the CALS website so you can find these resources. And I'll try to duplicate some of that in a moment. But I did want to get to a comment that Ann West put on here. So Ann, if you're on Zoom, kind of get geared up to comment or correct me. Ann says, my neighborhood library is Williams, where I love to go. My favorite things about the library are the book sales, speaker programs, wonderful audiobooks, and the book club kits that my book club uses frequently. That's what we were just talking about. The book club kits save money on personal purchases of books and offer great choices. So thank you, Ann, for that comment. And then Ann, you had a follow-up question about tutoring, but go ahead, Eliza. What were you going to say?
I was just going to share for people who are in a book club or wanting to start a book club. Absolutely, the book club kits are terrific. You can check out it's usually 10 books, often paperback. There's a list of available titles that you can access on our website. We're always adding to those. And also, the library hosts book discussions sometimes, so keep an eye out for those. If you don't belong to a book club and don't want to start one, but want to participate in one, there's one that we're doing around the theme of women's suffrage that is just about to launch. That different branches it's online, but it's also hosted by different branches. So check that out. That's going to be great.
Book clubs and book discussion groups are really popular at LifeQuest, and you can do those on Zoom, pretty well, because we keep them small. We keep them about 8-10 people, so you can actually have a conversation and engage that way.
We have also recently been offering some bilingual book clubs that are
great
in English and Spanish. And then the last thing I'll say is, if you are wanting to host a book club in person, but don't necessarily want to host it in your home or have a space for it, the library has some wonderful meeting spaces that are available for reservation. So that's a great option too. But I'll stop talking and actually listen for the question now.
Well, that's okay. Anne, do you want to ask your question about tutoring?
Sure. I was wondering if there's an opportunity to tutor for literacy, for reading at the libraries, any of the libraries.
So adults, is that what you're talking about? Anne?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
It echoed, sorry. Are you talking about tutoring adults?
Adults or children at a library location.
Yeah, so the tutoring program that the library runs is a math tutoring program, but we have a lot of community partners and folks that we really appreciate who are doing literacy related tutoring. So Literacy Action Committee is that nonprofit that I think primarily their mission is to help adults learn to read. Their offices are based in the main library on the first floor, so check them out for sure. Our Kids Read is an amazing program that pairs kind of mentors with students to do reading. I was an Our Kids Read tutor a few years ago and was going into school to do reading, but definitely check out those programs. They're absolutely friends of CALS, and in the case of Literacy Action, actually based within CALS, but they're not staffed by CALS, if that makes sense. And I see tutors meeting in the library spaces frequently.
Thank you.
Jean, you have your hand raised. Go ahead and ask your question.
I have some decorative cake pans to donate, but where do they go?
Oh gosh, that's a good question.
There's something in the paper about kitchen utensils and borrowing program.
Okay, that is probably either for some of our nutrition education classes or possibly for our library of things, but I don't know off the top of my head. But if you want to message me directly with your best contact information, I will find out and get back to you.
Either way, or Eliza, you can email me, and then when you find that out, and I can connect with Jean.
That'll work.
Whatever.
Thank you.
So a lot of our branches have they're all, and this is a great reason to check out the program guide that I posted. We have system-wide programs like Summer Reading Club and some of the other ones that I mentioned, but then individual branches will plan their own programs that are some really cool things. Like one that I love is a couple of weeks ago, the McMath branch on John Barrow Road had a prom dress drive where high school students, people in the community donated hundreds of prom dresses, and then high school students were able to come shop for free before prom. So that's just one example, but there are a lot of things like that going on, and this may be related to a branch specific program.
Any more questions for Eliza? I'm looking on Facebook and I don't see any, but I do appreciate all our Facebookers for coming to the LifeQuest Facebook page. I'm glad you've all found us. Kathy, anybody in the room there? She'll stand up if there is. I love that you have a library of things. That's great.
You talked about have your kids use the library, and I mean, I have a daughter, and we'll check out a telescope before we go to Petty Jean, that sort of thing. It's really cool that you can do that at the
That
library.
is something we need to think more about. Go ahead, Kathy. I know you had.
I'm the only one in the room, and
Oh, okay.
I'm a retired librarian from the State Library, Eliza.
Oh, great.
I'm pretty familiar with your programs, and I would certainly highlight the facilities that are available to you, the meeting rooms and stuff. That has been very helpful.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, we have meeting rooms of all sizes, and it's a lot of information on our website about how to reserve them. But prior to joining the library as an employee, I frequently used our meeting rooms that would have a strategic planning session at the Oxford American, or a community group would meet there, and they're great.
I think it's wonderful that you can ask for a book and have it delivered to the library that's closest to you rather than going all across town to get it.
Yes, that is very handy.
Yeah, I just think the library makes it so accessible, itself so accessible and so user-friendly and helpful. And I'm a huge fan. That's why we asked you. We always, and Ann West actually connected us with you, Eliza, but there were lots and lots of people at the public library at Cal's that we would invite again. Always, every one of them we would invite back because they've been so informative and helpful.
Good.
Well, it's looking really scary out there, so I'm going to go.
Ominous, isn't it? Out the window.
Look at the radar. I'm getting a little nervous about having classes this afternoon, so I'm gonna head out a little bit early. Eliza, thank you so much. Stay safe today, and I know you've got some busy plans for your spring.
Yes, you can't tell on Zoom, but I have a baby on the way next week, so I'm glad I was able to make it here.
I am too. That's why Ann suggested we put you on the schedule early.
Yes.
So best wishes to you and your family.
Thank you, and have a good day, everyone. Stay safe, and hope I'll see you at the library.
See you at the library. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.